Despite popular belief, the year of 2016 actually gave us a fair amount of great things. We got funny memes, newborns, purple dragons art, LJ's face, and some pretty awesome LEGO creations brought by our mighty fine online community. What's up everybody, this is Ven, here to bring you the TTV channel's top 10 Bionicle MOCs of 2016. But before I go any further, I also bring you a brief disclaimer. The creations featured in this video were picked out of those that had been previously featured on the MOC Spotlight, where I personally pick out a random MOC to review every week. As such, the criteria for the list will follow the quality of the three fundamental attributes I look for in my reviews: the overall appearance of the MOC, the build and structural integrity of the MOC, and the concept and ideas behind it all. And there are plenty of other great MOCs that were created in 2016 that I may not have seen throughout the year, and this is why the list will be condensed as such. So bear that in mind as we go along. So kicking off the list at number 10 is Bionicle by Looknob. Now don't let the name fool you, this thing is anything but a failure. Oh, I'm just kidding. But no, really, this MOC practically sets the bar for Bionicle MOC building. It's got a distinctive humanoid shape with a very Gundam-esque stature, and the build is just astounding. Very inspiring stuff we have here, but what drags this MOC down is the inconsistency in texture, the incomprehensible details, and the bland color scheme. Perhaps the builder was just working with all he had, or perhaps this was intentional to evoke some sort of subtle criticism of Bionicle as a whole. Who knows? Who cares? Number 9, Agar, or is it Agar? Not sure. Agar, the Ice King. But man, isn't this a cool MOC? Haha, get it? Cool, ice. But no, really. Here we have a nice blend of Bionicle and system parts put together in a slick, icy motif, supported by a well-established white and blue color scheme. The resulting MOC is a beastly-looking tyrant with quite the sizable noggin, and proportions that don't really match up. They got a big head and little arms. And overall, it's well built and aesthetically pleasing for the most part, but there's still potential for improvement here. But for number 8, we have Sigma Takanuva by Lycus. Speaking of improvements, man, this MOC is a huge step up from the original design of the Toe of Light himself. He retains a similar design, color scheme and all, but it's done in a very different and much smoother aesthetical style that also introduces a bit more posability to the figure. However, it's still not exactly a perfect revamp, with some bits of black breaking the color scheme a little bit here and there, the super questionably tiny thighs, and the back, yeah. But hey, that custom mask is just spicy meatball, mwah. And all in all, it's a great looking MOC that just needs a couple of kinks to be worked on. Moving on to number 7, Terrorbite by IGU. Demonstrating the creative possibilities of CCBS, this monster offers just a whole lot more to appreciate. We have a well-established, vibrant color scheme, cohesive textures, a sense of character, and overall a fairly unique design with the T-Rex head and all. The gunmetal coloring is a little much, but aside from that, there isn't really much for me to complain about. It doesn't really look like something you'd see out of Bionicle, but regardless, it's still a really neat creation. Moving on to number 6, the Dentist Chair by Disty. Yeah, I bet you didn't see this coming. I mean, like, really? A chair? But that's exactly why it's on this list. Nobody expects a chair, especially not one as well built and creepy looking as this one in particular. The build is solid and very creative, utilizing these rubber band holder pieces very efficiently, and I bet it'd be pretty intriguing to seat an actual figure onto this thing for, dental purposes? I don't know, but nonetheless, I was very impressed. And maybe you weren't. I mean, hey, it is just a chair, but maybe this next one will hit the right notes. Number 5, Anubis Aath by Elira. Inspired by the Egyptian god Anubis, this MOC was built to represent, sporting a dark color scheme that could probably use a little bit more blue. The iconic jackal-shaped head, the staff shape resembling an ankh, and some spikes here and there just cause I guess it wasn't edgy enough. And for a humanoid MOC, this one is fairly unorthodox. Some of the proportions are a bit out of whack, like you can see that the shoulders are way too low, but somehow Elira manages to make it work by adding this extra bit of armor to surround the neck area. For its attention to detail and clear inspiration, I felt that this MOC definitely deserved to be recognized on this list. Coming up next at number 4 is Makuta, the Mask Breaker by Joxon. Now isn't this guy just intimidating? Built specifically for LEGO's official Rebrick Makuta challenge, Joxon brought a whole lot to the table with this MOC. An incredibly creative build that maintains precise detailing all throughout. I mean, just look at that head and the torso, oh my goodness. A fairly consistent color scheme, standard articulation, unique characteristics, and somehow the results appear completely solid. One of the only MOCs to receive a perfect score on the MOC Spotlight. This bad boy deserves it. But he isn't the only MOC that I would perceive as perfect. Coming in at number 3 is Kairos The Overseer by Shadow Gear. Whoa, kind of a little rhyme in there. As I've mentioned in the review for this MOC, it still remains to be one of the coolest MOCs I've seen yet. It's incredibly unique in practically every aspect you can see here in terms of appearance, build, and concept. I mean, how the heck to even come up with this? With details such as the orb in the center, the lower half of the body being a dreidel, and all this pink stuff everywhere. I mean, it's intriguing to the max, but I will say, it's a bit of a shame to see it still can't support itself without the little scaffolding that Shadow Gear built here. It was definitely a good call, because then you can still pose it and make it look cool on display. Number 2, Dino Riders Mono Colonias by Roa McToa. The very first MOC I personally gave a perfect score for its solid appearance, sturdy build, and its near perfected accuracy to the source material that the model is actually based on. In retrospect, it's not the most aesthetically pleasing MOC I've seen, with the colors having a bit too much contrast and the dark green is a little but it still looks great. And really, the functionality of the MOC is what truly sells it. It's got detachable accessories, the dinosaur has a built-in function in its mouth, and both figures here actually feature a bit of articulation. So in terms of building just an outstanding action figure, Roa McToa definitely takes the cake with this MOC. However, let's be honest with ourselves, what is the one thing, really, that the only thing we generally care about when we look at somebody else's LEGO built creation on the internet? The appearance. And don't get me wrong, we've definitely seen some great looking MOCs on this list, but at number 1, we have Emperor of Darkness by Kishi Dog. Man, is this thing even built out of LEGO? Can it even move? Does it have eyes? There's so much going on here, but that's more of a compliment than a complaint, really, because it just makes me more intrigued to look at it. From the color scheme, to the precise shaping and engineering, to the sheer amount of detail, this MOC is nothing short of impressive. It looks like a remote-controlled Zoid toy manufactured by Hasbro or something. It might not have any play features or built-in functions, and it may not even have a perfect score on the MOC Spotlight, because it currently doesn't. But it's definitely got a lot to look at, and I know for sure if I saw this in person, my one, and probably my only reaction would just be, whoa, that's crazy, what, dude, this is so cool. So yeah, I took a pretty liberal stance to this list than how I would usually, but not everyone cares about the more technical or objective aspects of LEGO MOCs. I mean, sometimes I don't. But in the end, all that matters is just how creative you get with this wonderfully vast medium. But hey, those are just my thoughts. What are yours? Feel free to post your own top 10 MOCs of 2016 in the comments below, or join the discussion on our message boards at board.ttvchannel.com. I thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.